In this video, I would like to share my experience that I had when assembling my computer and the points and aspects I took care of when I was thinking which pieces to buy and the questions I asked myself. I would like to share them with you. So in the future or now, if you want to build a computer, you may also take those points in consideration for your own build. Question number one, how much money are you going to be spending on this computer? So let's say, are you going to be spending $1,000? Are you going to be spending $2,000? Are you going to be spending $500? So keep in mind how much money are you going to be spending on this computer so that when you are searching for the pieces needed to build that computer, you're not going to go and pick up, let's say, a motherboard that costs $400 when at the beginning you thought about building a computer that costs just $1,000. You're obviously not going to have enough money for the other part. So you have to make that trade whenever you are picking up your parts, and by keeping in mind how much money are you at the beginning wanted to spend on that computer. I'm mentioning this is because sometimes we start by saying, hey, I'm gonna build this computer on $1,000, but then whenever you end up adding all these parts and you went through all that effort of checking compatibility and all that, you see that the parts that you have cost like, I don't know, $2,000 or much more that you were expecting to spend on such computer. Question number two, what are you going to be using that computer for? Are you going to be playing video games? Are you going to be editing videos? Are you going to be just writing essays? So think, what are you going to be using that computer for so that you don't end up wasting more money than you need. If you're gonna be playing video games, go and check those video games that you want to play. Check the minimum requirements, check the recommended requirements, and based on that think about the pieces that you want to buy. Then if you're gonna be just writing essays or creating PowerPoints or doing, let's say, just working with Excel sheets, you don't need so much power as you would need for editing videos. So go and check the minimum to and recommended requirements for whatever you are going to be using that computer, like the programs that you're going to be using, and based on that think what pieces you'll be buying. Question number three, do you care about aesthetics? So let's say you do. It means you'll have to spend more money on building your computer. Why? Because there, let's say the case some of the fans bring lights, you know, those blue LED lights, red LED lights. It means you'll have to spend more money on those nice lights. Now, if you buy a common case which has no lights whatsoever with the same number of fans, you might like save that money. Now, let's say with a motherboard, there are motherboards that have also lights and all that, so you can trade all that. It all depends what you want, and then based on that, if you want a nice looking PC, you'll have to spend a little bit more. Now, if you only care about performance, it means you won't have to spend as much money on those aesthetics things I just mentioned. Point number four, try to squeeze your motherboard. What I mean with this is that if you buy a motherboard that costs 200 bucks, it means you're going to be using as much of it as you can. For example, if it brings 4 slots of PCI Express, it means you're going to be using at least 2 of those, right? Now, if you're not planning on using as many slots of PCI Express, then buy another motherboard that has less PCI Express slots. That comes the same with the memory banks and some other slots, let's say M.2. If you're going to be using it, then buy a motherboard with that. If you're not going to be using it, then don't waste that extra money for a motherboard that has it. So the last part that I want to add is compatibility. All the parts that you are going to buy must be compatible within each other. All those pieces of computer that I have behind me, they must be compatible within each other. The CPU must be compatible with the motherboard because of the socket. The memory RAM should be compatible with the motherboard because of the bank memory. The graphic cards must be compatible with the motherboard so that its slot is like meets the requirements for the graphic cards. The memory RAM, it will depend on what games you are going to play, what are you going to be using your computer for. So technically the CPU, the memory, all those parts depends on the all this that I'm telling you now depends on the previous questions that you asked yourself. But then you must check compatibility. One suggestion would be whenever you choose a motherboard, go to its specifications so you can check exactly what is compatible with, so that you can assemble that computer and you don't go with any risk of, you know, placing a CPU in a wrong socket and then burning the CPU or burning the motherboard, and then you'll be wasting what, $100, $200. Okay guys, I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, thumbs up. If you don't like it, just thumbs down. I will take it. Now, if you go to the comments and type why you didn't like this video, that will help me, you know what I did wrong in this video and what you guys didn't like, in order to improve for future videos if I ever decide to create more videos. So you guys have a good one.